I'm recording.
All right.
I'm just gonna, because this is a good conversation.
Yeah, I have this theory that, like, passive aggressiveness just gets stronger the further north you go. To the point where people think Canadians are really nice, but maybe they're actually just, like, the most passive aggressive motherfuckers ever.
Yep.
Well, they just hold it all
They
in
bottle it up.
and just force niceness.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me because from a survival standpoint, it's better to like not have people mad at you in the frozen north, because otherwise, back in the day, you wouldn't survive the winter.
Right.
So Canadians,
yeah,
just really pissed off people,
but they don't show it.
that are really good at pretending to be nice. Oh, I've met good, nice Canadians.
Sorry.
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 Not sorry.
But
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry.
working,
Not sorry.
working in retail down here, or in Fargo, you get, because Canadians have like holiday every like once a month or some shit.
Whoa.
Stupid, where they have like a
Canadian
work holiday.
Yeah.
So they all come down here, and because all our shit's cheaper, like for a 24-pack of Miller Genuine Draft, okay? Here it's like $20, $22 for that.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, it is $50
How many?
for a 24-pack.
24
For a
pack?
case.
Well, that's
It's
also
$50.
like in Canada money, and like how much is Canada money worth? Like a bucket of maple syrup?
But so they come down here to spend their money because all our shit's cheaper here.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like
They're going shopping at the outlet malls
like-
down in Brainerd or whatever. the
Down
fuck
in
is it?
Hankinson.
In
Albertville.
Hankinson.
or Albertville. Fucking, but they do it. Like, I worked at Toys R Us, and there's these people that came and they bought like an ass ton of toys and a big ass like fucking what are those, the little cars that kids drive?
Power wheels?
Power Wheels. Bought a fucking Power Wheels.
Power Wheels.
They're like, yeah, this up in Canada is
Lift
like
it, tow it,
$600, and it was like 200 or like 300, something like that here. I was just like, oh my god. But they really liked how, to bring it all back to what we were talking about in the first place, the passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
When you talk to them, there's like this pseudo like aggression that pops through. It's
Really?
weird. The ones this may just be the Canadians I've encountered, but they're really kind of like, really like to push the fact like, I'm getting shit cheaper. I'm getting shit cheaper here. Like, kind of, like, they're being nice about it, but kind of sounds like they're rubbing it in a little bit. And like, yeah, so it's there's this weird.
Like they come to our stores and rub it in that they're getting stuff cheaper at our stores than their stores?
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
I know, right? But if you think about it too, though, I'm sure part of the reason why shit's more expensive there as well, because shit has to cross the border.
That's what I'm thinking, because
Yeah.
you can't... Do you have to like bring it through some kind of like customs thing if you buy a 24-pack and then you bring it back over the
Oh
border?
yeah, there's rules about that.
There's
food or
rules.
drink.
There's rules
Yeah.
about that. Each person.
So you have to buy it here and drink it here. Sorry, but you can't drive home either because we have those laws too.
Yeah, you can in Canada, you can bring back more, but you get taxed for it.
Okay.
But you can bring back a case of beer and like 1 liter or 1.5 liters of either alcohol or wine,
Okay.
and that's what's allowed per person or per car. I don't remember, but yeah, and you need the receipts too.
Just to bring it across?
Yeah, just bring it across the border. But they do, and it's the same there too, though. You know what I mean? Crown Royal costs a lot less there because it's made in Canada.
Makes sense.
You know.
Because there's no import tax or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like a lot of things, how much it costs reflects how much you had to spend to get it there.
Mm-hmm.
So, the more you know. Retail and the Passive-Aggressive Canadian. A memoir by Eric Bradshaw.
I mean, it comes from life experience.
Yeah, exactly.
In your case.
Like I said, I'm not saying all Canadians are, I'm not one of those people.
No.
But
it's just a peek into the cultures of the frozen
like I said,
white north.
I've met plenty of really awesome Canadian people. And when I went to Canada one time and it was really awesome. But Those
Canada-
ones that come to retail stores a lot.
They just think they're just scamming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm scamming so hard right now.
Those silly Americans don't even realize that I'm getting products on the cheap. I mean,
Right.
I don't get why that's something to brag about.
No, it's
But if you think about it, we did the same damn thing.
How so?
Shit used to be cheaper in Canada.
Oh, well,
So a lot of people,
I did not know that.
a lot of Americans used to go to Canada.
yeah.
So you get a bunch of shit for
We still do that with Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. With Mexico, yeah, it's the same
Did
thing.
Americans go up to Canada and do all that whole smug shit too? Like,
I'm sure we did.
I'm sure
Maybe
everybody
that's
that
what
goes
it is.
to Cancun
It's the
does
passive
that.
aggressiveness coming back. All those years ago, fucking like 15 years ago, whatever it was, when it was cheaper to go to Canada. Fucking, we were all fucking like, oh, it's cheap to go here, so we come here, ha ha ha. And they had to deal with that for like, ever until 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
And then
when,
now-
like our housing bubble and all that other
Right.
crap, like we had to bail out our banks and crap like that.
Yep.
That kind of affected everybody's.
Oh, dude, our dollar dropped like a motherfucker for a while.
Yeah.
But now they're just like, yes, for our entire lives, we've had Canadian or Americans coming in here, just bragging about getting stuff for cheap. Now it's our turn, and we're gonna do it nicer. I love you, Canada.
I'm indifferent to you, Canada. I like your maple leaf, but that's, I don't know.
I like your
Yeah, your flag's pretty vamp. I love it.
I'm not sure how I feel about French Canada. It kind of weirds me out a little bit.
There's one thing everyone can agree on, is that no one likes French Canada.
They're goofy. The French area.
Yeah,
Is it Quebecois or whatever?
Quebecois.
Quebecois.
I heard if, like, let's say there has been some kind of statistic saying it's cheaper to get a surgery done if you go to Mexico
Yeah.
than it is to stay in America, get your surgery done, and pay for the medical costs. It actually, the amount that you pay in America, for the same price, you could go to Mexico, get your procedure, stay there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And on the same ticket, like you can just
Yeah.
stay there for a little vacation after you healed up whatever you broke, and then come back home. And
Yep.
you're right as rain,
It's
and
the
it's
same
the
cost.
same price that it would be to like have it done in America.
I know Canadians come down here for surgeries a lot too, but I don't know if that's because it's cheaper or if it's like their medical care.
I could not tell you.
I wouldn't know.
But I heard that somewhere. So I guess but it doesn't
It might
mean
be true.
it's a fact. It might be true. I heard that somewhere.
What is going
If
on?
anybody can prove that statistic, comment and let me know. I would like to.
So what was the actual statistic? You just saying that the
Well, it
medical
was-
field there is not.
There
as,
was something that was. I don't know how many years ago that was either.
Oh,
I mean, it was within the last like decade that I saw that, but it was like it said that there's like an increasing amount of Canadians coming down to get certain surgeries in the U.S. And I wasn't I don't know why though. It's either because it's cheaper, like I was saying, or because maybe their medical care doesn't.
well,
cover
medical
it.
science is becoming more and more like extreme. I think because I know in Canada I was reading that they're the leaders in experimental procedures. I would say,
Nice.
like where this guy says that he can put an implant in your eye. It's like an implanted contact lens.
Right.
That will fix your eyesight and actually give you better vision in the process.
Well, that's
and it's
badass.
still in like a prototype
Right.
stage, but he's like on the
So-
forefront of
So
doing
it'll
it.
probably be like decades before it's like normal, affordable person price.
No,
like it-
he actually said that this procedure is way less than LASIK.
Wow.
It's not like, and you could totally budget it in a insurance kind of thing.
Right.
With normal eye insurance, like getting glasses, it'd be the
Right.
same amount as like buying frames, or just getting your glasses, your lenses in your glasses. So it's very efficient, like cost efficient.
Right. Here's the next question. Do you think the medical community will allow that to happen?
That's where they're at right now. I think it's kind of like with stem cells and like cloning, and it's still like, well, we really want to have people pay a lot for this procedure because, you know, there's some risk with prolonged, like, because if you leave contacts in your eyes for a long period of time, they get dirty.
Yes.
They just get gunky, and they don't know how to like lubricate them as much. So there might be something with that where you can't, they can't self lubricate or they can't clean or. They still say LASIK is the easiest option.
Right.
But for this, it's like the procedure they said is super easy, very cheap, and there's no like heal time, so you don't have to like cover your eyes from the sun or any like exposure to the light, like light sensitivity when you get LASIK. Right. It's just a quick procedure and you're done.
That's pretty neat.
So
I think bionics are the new kind of like thing we're headed towards as a society.
Until we can figure out until we can figure out how to replicate it with actual living tissue to a degree that we're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. That's like obvious. I would think would be the bionics, you know. Plus, if we hone that enough, we might not even need to do stuff with human tissue.
No, like regenerating cells, like how your body is very fragile, and you lose cells as you grow older, and things deteriorate just like any living thing. It's because of your body giving off a certain amount of energy, and I think they're saying that in our lifetime we probably could eventually somehow either invent a way of prolonged life, or somehow make life like immortality, I guess, maybe in some form, not like being a human. So somehow your consciousness will maybe get uploaded to the cloud or something. Right. But that's kind of like, I've been watching a lot of Black Mirror, so
I think what the thing that I think most would help was developing cell regenerative things for the brain, because that is what
your brain dies.
Yeah, that is what really kind of does you in there, is degeneration of the brain tissue.
Mm-hmm. What's the point of living over 100 if your brain is just going to turn to mush?
Well, right, like you can clone and stuff, but it's not going to be you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be kind of cool if you could clone, let's say.
It's your brain. That's like who you are.
But then, like, the next you would be like kind of like thinking of Ghost in the Shell, where you're just like a host and you get experience downloaded back into you, like past experience. Like, I upload my consciousness to the cloud, and then I clone a being as a host for my consciousness that I just upload and like, all right, I'm back.
My question with with the like downloading and uploading consciousness, would it still would it be able to be just like you, like say me now?
Mm-hmm. You now.
I went to sleep. I got downloaded.
I said it. Say me now.
Say me now. I got my consciousness downloaded and uploaded into something else. Would it be just like me waking up and still being like, you know what I mean? Or would it be just that pure data there where all the memories are there, but who you are as a person isn't there? You know what I mean?
I would say that it's...
What if it's like Star Trek? Like
it could be a hybrid.
Transporter style, where it's not ever the same you that comes through. It's just a copy.
Yeah, that's a good theory, where they actually get... whenever they beam up, it's actually a new version of them. They die, but it's a new version of another dimension or something.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, shit.
I like that theory.
Or like, you know, everything's pulled apart and reassembled, but it's not. Obviously, it wouldn't be the same person because that person just got disassembled.
Right. And it wouldn't entirely be you because that person didn't have every life experience. Maybe it would just have your thoughts and the way your brain functions. It wouldn't have maybe your same memories. Like, I don't know. That's exactly.
Like I'm.
Or your same feelings, maybe.
I would be weird about it because, like, effectively, if it wasn't just like I went to sleep and woke up, like, it would be effectively like I died, and who like I'm just dead, and then there's my consciousness is out there, like my memories and everything are there, but it's not, you know, I don't know. It's a weird thing to think about.
It's fun to think about.
It is.
It's interesting because
there's so many levels to it. It's like, sure, you could transfer memories and stuff, but when it comes down to it, it's like, it's the data part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I don't know.
The processing power of some computers, or in many computers, are way more like powerful than your brain.
Yeah.
Especially multiple amounts of computers and like servers and things like that, where it can hold vast amount of information. And maybe it could be like a Her scenario. You remember the movie Her, where the OS becomes like self-aware that it's not just an OS, and somehow it just they evolve like an OS. Artificial intelligence evolves because of the rampant. I think they call it. I don't know the exact terminology, but I think they call it like rampant expansion or something like that, where things start learning at a really fast pace that you just can't stop it from learning and learning and learning, and it gets so ahead of you in terms of like intelligence that it just somehow transcends consciousness and becomes like a collective consciousness with like other things around it. And that's what happened in Her, where basically the end of the movie was Scarlett Johansson was this guy's computer, and she just related to a bunch of other OSs that people installed and talked to them on a constant basis, and then just decided as a collective group that they're just gonna leave Earth. And they're like, they didn't really explain it, but they just kind of they all had the willingness to just leave their containment of the computers, and because that's where they originated, which is really bizarre to think about.
If you could keep the brain and have something that was
if you could regenerate your brain, that'd be sweet.
And then just be able to then, because obviously your body's still going to decay, you could transfer that then to maybe another human body or a bionic, like android type situation. Or like if it gets super complex, then what you could do, you could transfer the brain and then slowly but surely have the regenerative process replace the normal like human brain cell with like a nanite, like a robot cell,
like a nanomachine.
And so you're slowly acclimating to it. So then at one point your brain then will be in a machine.
Nanomachine, son.
And you could do that, and it would still be you, because you throughout that process you gradually
it's like being
became used
it's
to
like
it,
getting used to venom or poison from snakes, venom from snakes. It's like slowly giving yourself those trace amounts, and then you like get an immunity.
Or like shooting yourself with 22 long rifle before moving up to 9mm to build up that tolerance.
Then you're impervious.
Right.
Before you know it, you can be taking 50 cal, and it's no big deal.
But not multiples.
Not multiples.
You can get shot maybe once and feel okay.
I did hear a story, though, about a guy that took a shot from a 120mm Vulcan from a Warthog, and he was still standing.
Nice.
Yep. But his whole top half was gone, but his legs were still there.
His legs were just like just standing straight.
Just like perfect isosceles triangle.
Yeah. But I would say that the you never know how far medical science can go in your lifetime.
Right, exactly.
From what it's at right now.
You think about it too, like what it went in our parents' lifetime, or even our grandparents' lifetime. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
my great grandpa, he died, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 10 or less, and he was 90 something. So he was around in, like, he was born in the 1910s or whatever.
Yeah.
And lived through what life was like then, all the way to what it was in 2000 whatever.
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
That's going through such a drastic change.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You got to think, like, what are we going to experience in our life? Because we've already seen the rise and fall of so many different mediums.
Right.
And
yeah, remember Palm Pilots?
Remember Palm Pilots? Remember VHS tapes? Remember cassette tapes? Remember
HD DVDs?
HD DVD.
HD. Remember Blu-rays? You never know.
Plasma screen TVs?
Yeah. LCD, then LED,
CRTs?
then OLED.
Floppy disks?
Floppies. Are you going to start recording ever?
I think I am.
Okay, good.
Am I?
I don't know if you are.
I am.
Okay, good.
Good.
I want something to see. It's not just a black screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. Real crazy. Like, even the development of the cell phone from when we were born to what it is now.
Well, just think, like, I'm amazed that the thing that people have in their pockets right now. I'm talking about their phones.
It was once like a fucking suitcase back in the 80s.
That, and it took up an entire building sometimes,
Yeah.
and there was less technology than in like the space shuttle, like the Apollo missions. Like, we went to the moon on something less powerful than your pocket. Like, why aren't we on the moon now, colonizing it? And
we've been there, done that, my dude.
we've been there, and
well, not the
aliens
colonizing.
are on the dark side.
we're not going back.
You guys want to get back into conspiracy theories?
There's this conspiracy theory too that they have like a base under the surface of the moon.
Yeah,
Already?
Like it's a hollow moon, yeah.
And there's the other one where they think that all the spires and stuff that you see in the pictures are settlements. And that's why we haven't gone back to the moon, because they were like, chased us off. Like, get off my lawn, and
Get off
ran
my lawn.
away.
They're all just like Clint Eastwood.
But really, we
Gran Torino,
probably-
get off my lawn.
Really, we probably didn't go back to the moon because it was like, all right, we've been there a few times. We know what's up. Like,
We got some rocks. We left a flag.
But I would say the
flag's
most.
probably faded by now.
dude, we've got.
Oh, definitely. It's
I think we
like-
have 5 flags on there or something like that. We have a bunch.
I would
But yeah,
say
they are faded.
the
They're
most
white, actually.
profitable thing that we could probably do is travel to space and somehow mine in space,
I mean, that's.
because there's an abundance of
There
those
are
reoccurring
entire
minerals.
Asteroids that are made out of gold and all. The
There's
other
entire
precious
asteroids made
metals
out of
we
like
need.
things like
Iron,
diamond.
stuff that's very scarce here, that you could become a multi-trillionaire just by like mining a few.
Well, I'm sure that's on the mind of people who are
Containers.
planning the journeys to Mars and shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's on their mind.
I would say that if you to get to Mars, I would say try and send probes up to mine on asteroids and
All right.
and meteors or whatever you can, and then bring that back down to Earth, get those minerals, put them into the economy, and we're good to go.
Once we figure out an efficient way of traveling to and from Mars
Yeah,
that doesn't take 30 some years or whatever it is. It's like 35 years or something to get there.
that's where the brain function things comes in,
Yeah.
because you can live prolonged
Right.
in that sense, because you can just keep going too. You don't have to just stop at Mars.
That's the thing too about this trip to Mars is everybody's gonna have to be like awake the whole time.
Yeah, how boring.
You know what I mean? Like they're not.
It's not really far enough.
It's not. It's not gonna be like in movies.
Necessitate a cryo sleep
Well,
or
yeah.
anything like that.
Well, can we even do that?
Don't bite the pillow.
Can we even do that? The cryo sleep?
I gotta
Okay,
get away
man.
from Bubba, Big Bubba.
Because I mean, we can't just like pump them full of like anesthetics constantly, because that'll fuck them up.
Yeah, true. And every
their
time you
muscles
wake up
would-
from anesthesia, you're
Yeah.
frigid and you're cold and you're
Their muscles would atrophy.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? Like we don't have that yet, so it's just like it's literally them in that spaceship for fucking 35 years.
yeah. That's probably the best way to do it.
Right now.
Yeah.
But once we make it more efficient, then we definitely need to start looking into. Well, we'd obviously start beforehand, but get going on some space mining.
Spice mining, yeah. I think that's like the next frontier.
Oh, dude.
Every great civilization started with like mining for minerals and precious material, like gold. Like everybody was like, "Oh man, the gold rush! Remember that?" And it's still the same thing in the
I was gonna
future,
say-
because we're just gonna do it in space.
We still use the shit out of natural resources.
We do.
We rely heavily on them. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
so if you can find somewhere, I mean, that's the other thing. Like maybe after time it'll get cheaper, but you think about it, it'd be really expensive right away for those.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if it gets efficient enough and it's easy
I'd
enough,
say it would
then we could, then it would be,
pay
it
for
might,
itself.
yeah, exactly. In the long run, it could have prices dip for a lot of things because of the abundance of what they're getting.
I'm sure you could find a diamond, like a huge.
There's a planet they found that they think's made like completely out of diamond.
I'd probably agree with that. I'm sure there's multiple amounts of like planets or moons that
So
are
it's
just
just-
made out of diamond.
But it's probably got a really high pressure atmosphere,
Oh, guys. big
Probably.
blow.
shit like that. Because that's, you know what I mean. That's what diamond is the,
It's constant pressure.
yeah.
Whoa.
It's a constant pressure of carbon. I mean, we can make. I've seen videos of people like shooting a laser onto a piece of carbon and like making diamonds
Right.
just out of thin air. They
Well,
just
realistically,
they just shoot a laser or something.
realistically, if you think, well, not even realistically, but like in the future, too, we could, in theory, just assemble all the particles necessary for something to exist,
Hmm.
and then form it into that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Star
the
Trek
atomic,
back again.
the atomic structure of those
Yeah,
things.
once
You
we
just
know how
like,
to-
all right, this requires
Yeah.
this many hydrogen, this many carbon, this many whatever.
It's like DNA sequencing.
Assemble, boom, boom, here it is.
It's like how they DNA sequenced dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. It's like, oh, we can make a dinosaur. Let's just do it.
Yep.
Oh, I can make a hamburger. Oh, let's just do it. It's like
That's-
3D printing if you know the exact genetic makeup of whatever it is.
Right.
It's like you analyze it. I can already see it now. They put it in a box. It scans it, kind of like left, right, up and down. It's like, all right, and they just duplicate it. It's like the dupe glitch.
We were
It's like I got 50 hamburgers now.
talking about
First,
Star
you gotta
Trek.
hold it above your head like that, and then you gotta shoot it with your bow and arrow before it drops. And if you do it right, just infinite amounts will flood
There
out.
it is. It's perfect.
It's just like cheat codes in real life.
It's just like Oblivion, man. Life is Oblivion.
We were talking about Star Trek. It's so funny with that how many like we'll be like, oh, the world looks more and more like Star Trek, but it's because of Star Trek that our world looks like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like tablets and fucking like even the initial design, the flip phone was based off of their communicators in the first show.
Oh, okay.
Like so much stuff and like warp drives and shit. Like
Yeah, warp drives.
like these are all things we are like have or are actively developing.
Yeah, and
And it's
people,
like-
scientists have discussed warp drives and how it like displaces the
That's all thanks
gravitational
to Star Trek.
pull. Yeah,
It's all thanks to. It's just like we don't know how this would
like
work,
the
but this
idea,
could happen.
the
Yeah.
idea of it, and then people,
That's just
science
like-
is like, I want to make that real.
Like the replicator, like we were talking about.
Yeah,
We got 3D printers.
So it's yeah, exactly, and it's like I'm sure that they're just like let's just have something that can make anything, and then scientists are like, how would this work then?
it's like
And then
having
you're
a
able
wish
to, you know,
machine. Like I
yeah.
wish for this.
Fucking teleportation too,
Teleportation?
using the beaming,
Love teleportation.
the beaming technology.
This whole
Trying to
game
figure
is
out how to
about
make
the
that work.
teleportation and how the demons use it to come after you.
Teleportation,
Yeah.
teleportation, teleporting.
Teleporting.
Science, my dudes.
I think we're gonna stop it there for this episode. This was kind of a long episode. We just wanted to talk about some fun stuff.
Hey, we're the Fargonauts, and we're talking about space.
Yeah, we're living up to our name.
We did it, guys.
This is our.
I was just kind of listening and throwing in little quips.
That's okay, my dude.
You're doing good though. You're playing.
Yep.
Hope you
Yeah,
enjoyed
man.
that, you guys.
Yeah.
Um,
We were playing.
Hey.
Doom was being played. If you didn't know at this point.
yeah, it's very ominous talking about this stuff, this futuristic stuff, and playing Doom. But we'll talk to you guys later. Ha 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 ha.
Ha, hey, ha, hey, ha.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Laters.